My father slapped me in front of 200 people because I wouldn't give my brother my home. Not rent it, not share it, give it. My penthouse, the one I bought with my own money, alone, at 29. The crack of his hand echoed through the ballroom. My brother's wedding reception went silent. The bride's family stared. My cheek burned, and my father looked at me like I was the problem. You're probably wondering how a parent thinks assault and theft are wedding gifts. How they believed they'd just take a $1.2 million property because they said so. Stick with me. Wherever you're watching from, New York, London, 3 a.m. in your kitchen, you'll want to hear how this ends. Because what my parents didn't know? I had everything documented. Every single thing. And if you love a good receipt drop, hit that like button now. You're going to need it. Because what they also didn't know? I'd been ready for this my whole life. Let me back up. I grew up invisible. My brother was the golden child. New car at 16. College tuition paid in full. Study abroad summers. Validation at every turn. Me? I got silence. Why can't you be more like him? That was my childhood. So I made a plan. I put myself through state school. Worked 2 jobs. Ate ramen for 4 years straight. Graduated with a degree in computer science and 0 debt. I landed a job in tech sales. 80-hour weeks. Cold calls until my voice gave out. I lived in a 400-square-foot studio with 1 window. But I saved. Every dollar went into a spreadsheet. I tracked everything. At 29, I had enough for a down payment. I bought a penthouse in the city. 1,200 square feet. Floor-to-ceiling windows. A view that made me cry the first time I saw it. I closed solo. My name on the deed. My money, no family help. Not 1 cent. I didn't even invite my parents to the housewarming. They sent a text. Wow, you actually did it. I thought that was the end of it. I thought distance would protect me. But here's the thing about people who see you as an asset. They don't stop when you succeed. They just recalculate what they think you owe them. And I keep backups of backups. Bank statements, emails, closing documents in the cloud and a physical safe. Call it paranoia. I call it survival. I thought I was safe. I was wrong. The night before the wedding, my parents invited me to a private family dinner. Upscale steakhouse. Just the 4 of us. I should have known. We were barely through appetizers when my mom started. Your brother and Emily need a strong start. You know how expensive the city is. I nodded. Sure, it's tough out there. Then my dad leaned in. You're going to transfer the penthouse. I blinked. What? You heard me. Your brother needs it. You don't need that much space. It's what family does. My mother's voice went soft. Dangerous. After all we sacrificed for you. After everything. I kept my voice level. I bought that place. My name, my money. The answer is no. My brother said nothing. He stared at his plate. He knew. He'd known this was coming. My father's jaw tightened. You're being selfish. I'm being realistic, I said. That's my home. I'm not signing it over. My mom's eyes filled with tears. Performative. Practiced. You'd rather see your brother struggle than help him? He can get his own place, I said. Like I did. My dad stood up, slowly. You'll regret embarrassing us in front of Emily's family. He smiled, tight, cold. We'll see about that. He dropped $200 on the table and walked out. My mother followed. My brother finally looked at me. You couldn't just make this easy? Then he left too. I sat alone with my wine and a very bad feeling. The wedding reception was beautiful. String lights, a live band, 200 guests in cocktail attire. I stood near the bar trying to blend in. Then my father found me. We need to talk. He pulled me aside, right in front of the head table. People turned. His voice rose. You're signing the deed tonight. This is your last chance. No, I said, quiet, firm. You ungrateful. And then his hand cracked across my face. The sound cut through the music. A gasp rippled across the room. My cheek exploded in heat. I stood there, frozen, 200 pairs of eyes locked on me. The bride's family stared. My brother turned away. Emily's face went white. Nobody moved. I walked out, through the ballroom, past the photographer, into the parking lot. My hands shook. My face burned. I sat in my car and wondered if this was it. If I should just disappear, change my number, let them win. For 5 minutes I thought about it. Then I opened my phone, and I remembered something. 3 guests had recorded the whole thing. But more than that, I had proof they had no right to ask in the first place. I didn't know it yet, but that slap was the best mistake my father ever made. I sat in my car, opened my phone, went to my secure folder, and I pulled up the deed. Receipt number 1. Property deed. Recorded 3 years ago. Sole owner, my name. Purchase price, $1.2 million. Down payment, $240,000. My savings. Documented in 12 months of bank exports. 0 family cosigners. 0 gifts. 0 loans. I scrolled to the second file. A text thread from closing day. My mother. Wow, you actually did it. My father. Impressive. Proof they knew. Proof it was never theirs. I took a screenshot. Saved it to 3 separate clouds. Then I asked myself the question. If they had no legal claim, and they knew it, why did they think they could just take it? What were they so desperate for? I sat there, staring at the evidence, feeling the sting fade from my cheek, and I realized something. They weren't asking. They were betting I wouldn't fight back. They were wrong. I had the proof, but I needed to know how deep this went. So I started digging, and what I found made everything make sense. The next morning, my phone exploded. Facebook post from my mother, heartbroken by our child's selfishness on what should have been a joyful day. 43 comments. Aunts, uncles, cousins. Disgusting. Family comes first. What's wrong with you? A group text I'd been added to without my consent. Screenshots forwarded by my one sympathetic cousin. My brother. Can't believe the drama. Emily's parents are furious. My aunt. You owe your parents everything. Then my phone rang. Emily's mother. I don't know what happened last night, but my daughter is in tears. Can you explain? I tried. She hung up before I finished. An hour later, an email. A cease and desist letter from a budget law firm. The claim? My parents had given me $50,000 as a loan for my down payment. They were demanding repayment in full or transfer of the deed. Deadline, 7 days. I read it twice. It was a lie. A complete fabrication. But it was on letterhead. My brother texted me, just give them something. You're ruining my marriage before it starts. Emily's parents were influential. Local business community. My reputation was on the line. The smear campaign was working. They wanted a war of optics. Fine. I'd give them evidence instead. I went back to my files. Receipt number 2, a loan agreement. But not the one they claimed. 3 years ago, my parents needed $50,000 for urgent home repairs. I gave it to them. We signed a notarized agreement. Repayment due within 2 years. Balance owed, $50,000. Their signatures. Notary stamp, date. They never paid me back. Not $1. So their lawyer's letter wasn't just a lie. It was projection. I scanned the document, saved it, indexed it. Then I checked my email. A message from a guest at the wedding. Subject line, you need to see this. Receipt number 3, a video file. Timestamp, the night of the reception. 7:42 p.m., the slap. Full audio, my father screaming. You owe us. You've always owed us. Clear, clean, 3 angles. Metadata intact. I watched it once. That was enough. They didn't just lie. They tried to rewrite history, but I still didn't know why. Why were they this desperate? So I pulled one more file, and that's when I found it. Years ago, my parents put me as a co-signer on a utility account. Just once. It gave me access to their credit monitoring. I pulled it. Total unsecured debt, $240,000. Credit cards maxed. Personal loans. a second mortgage on the house. Then I found the wedding invoice, forwarded to me by accident from a vendor contact I knew. Total cost $80,000. My parents paid half to impress Emily's family. $40,000 they didn't have. Then I found the text thread. My cousin forwarded it. Mom and my brother. Mom, once it's in your name, we can list it quietly. No one has to know. Brother, and we split it 3 ways? Mom, enough to clear everything. There it was, the plan. Install my brother in the penthouse. Sell it within a year. Split the proceeds. Clear the debt. Keep the image intact. My brother was in on it from the start. It was never about family. It was about solvency. I sat back. Let it sink in. And for the first time in 24 hours, I felt calm. Because now I knew exactly what I had to do. I made 3 calls. First, a real estate attorney. Specializes in property disputes. I sent her everything. Deed, loan agreement, cease and desist letter. She called me back in an hour. You have a bulletproof case. Let me handle this. Second, a family law specialist. I forwarded the video, the texts, the debt records. He said 1 word. Jackpot. Third, the police. Non-emergency line. I filed a report, battery, witnesses, video evidence. Case number assigned. Then I did something they didn't expect. I wrote an email. Calm, factual, 3 attachments. To Emily's parents. Subject, context you deserve to have. I didn't editorialize. I didn't vent. I just attached the documents and wrote 5 lines. You were kind enough to include me in brunch plans. Before that happens, you should see these. I'm happy to answer questions. I want no drama. I just want this to stop. I CC'd 1 person, my attorney, then I pressed send. And I waited. 48 hours later, everything broke. My parents' attorney received the counter package first. He called them. I know because my lawyer recorded the voicemail he left her. My clients are withdrawing their claim. Effective immediately. But the real reversal happened at brunch. Emily's parents had planned a post-wedding family gathering. Upscale hotel restaurant. Private room. My parents showed up expecting mimosas and small talk. Instead, they walked into an intervention. I didn't attend in person. My attorney advised against it. But I was on speakerphone. Attorney next to me in her office. Emily's father, a retired judge, ran the meeting. He placed an iPad in the center of the table. We're going to go through some documents, he said. And then we're going to have a conversation about honesty. First document, the deed. Sole owner, my name, no cosigners, no family money. Purchased 3 years ago. My mother started to speak. He raised a hand. I'm not finished. Second document. The loan agreement, $50,000. Parents' signatures, notarized. You owe your child $50,000. Not the other way around. My father's face went red. Third document. The video. He played 10 seconds. The slap, the audio. You owe us. You've always owed us. Emily's mother looked at my brother. He stared at his plate. Just like at the steakhouse. Fourth document. The debt summary. $240,000. Fifth. The text thread. Once it's in your name, we can list it quietly. Emily stood up. Walked out. Didn't say a word. My brother tried to follow. She held up a hand. Emily's father leaned forward. This is fraud, harassment, battery. You will retract everything publicly. You will sign a no-contact agreement. You will begin repayment on the loan you actually owe. Or I will make sure every family court and credit agency in this state knows exactly who you are. Silence. My parents' attorney whispered something. My father nodded. My attorney's voice came through the phone. Calm, professional. We have a written retraction and repayment plan ready for signature. $500 per month. No contact. No social media. No intermediaries. My mother signed first. Then my father. My attorney looked at me. It's over. I exhaled. It was. My parents posted a public apology 3 days later. Written by their attorney. Posted to Facebook. Comments disabled. We apologize for statements made in haste and emotion. We retract all claims and wish our family member well. The smear post disappeared. First payment arrived 2 weeks later. $500. On time. Extended family went silent. A few aunts apologized privately. Most just stopped replying. I didn't chase them. My brother and Emily separated 6 months later. She filed for annulment. Couldn't unsee the dysfunction. Couldn't trust him. I heard through a mutual friend. I didn't reach out. I blocked my parents' numbers. Blocked them on every platform. Set a hard boundary. No contact. No exceptions. My attorney kept the police report active. Not as a threat. As documentation. No lawsuits were ever filed. Didn't need to be. I took $10,000, money I'd set aside for a vacation I never took, and donated it to a domestic violence nonprofit. In my own name. I wanted something good to come from it. I started therapy twice a month. Worked through decades of golden child comparisons and invisible child wounds. My therapist said something in our 4th session that stuck with me. You protected yourself. That's not selfish. That's survival. I'm still in that penthouse, same view, same floor-to-ceiling windows. I live alone, and it's mine. I don't hate my parents, I really don't. But I don't let them hurt me anymore. They taught me I was selfish for having boundaries. Turns out, boundaries are the only reason I'm still standing. I didn't win because I had money or a lawyer. I won because I kept records. Because I didn't let shame silence me. Because I knew the difference between family and toxicity. And because I was willing to walk away. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to cut off a family member to protect yourself? How did you know it was the right time? What boundary did you set that changed everything? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this resonated with you, if you've ever been the scapegoat, the afterthought, the one expected to shrink so someone else could shine, subscribe. Hit that bell. You're not alone. Oh, and one last thing. This is a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. Not legal or financial advice. If you're in a situation like this, talk to a licensed professional in your area. Thank you for watching. And remember, receipts aren't revenge. They're insurance.